It is honestly hilarious watching these Matt Walsh videos where he gets triggered over people doing nothing. First, it was people cuddling with their pets and sleeping with their pets in their bed, and now it's people who enjoy Disney World. It's like, for a person who claims to be all about freedoms, he hates when people use their freedoms to enjoy life.
The comment section. This is a viral video that is maybe maybe the most important subject we can cover today. There's a viral video about someone's experience at
Wait, really? Uh, Adults who enjoys Disney World is like the most important topic you can talk about today. I guess this takes precedence over trans people.
Disney World, and they posted this to TikTok, talking about how much they spend at Disney World. And I've never been to Disney World. I never plan on going to Disney World. I've always been aware that it's expensive, but this surprised me even. Let's watch this.
So here's how much we spent at Disney, day 2 of 5. A mediocre breakfast at Hollywood and Vine cost us $223. Then we headed over to Toy Story Land, and even with Lightning Lane, we still only got to ride one ride. Ice cream was $25 and popcorn was $16. Then over at Galaxy's Edge, 3 lightsabers cost us a whopping $800. They also no longer hold them for you until the end of the day, plus different airlines have different restrictions when flying home, so we opted to ship them to us for an additional cost. Every ride had a 120-minute wait time, so we only got to ride one ride in this section of the park as well. We tried the
I mean, when you go to a theme park, you are expected to be spending a lot of money. That's like part of a theme park. They're going to be charging a lot of money for their items. It's one way they make money themselves. But it doesn't really sound like this person is like really complaining like about the amount of money they're spending. I'm not sure.
infamous blue and green milk and had lunch at Backlot and funnel cakes at Epic Eats. Photo Pass was an extra $170 for cell phone quality pictures, and finally we had dinner at Planet Hollywood. Factoring in our nightly hotel rate of $997 brings our total to $3,758.
Oh my! I'm sorry. I
Yeah, when you go out on vacation, you spend money. If you went to a resort, you'd be spending a lot of money. If you went to any other theme park, you'd be spending a lot of money. If you went on a cruise ship, the Bahamas, whatever, you'd be spending a lot of money because that's how tourist attractions make money is by charging a lot, and people know this already.
don't even know where to start. Was that $800 on lightsabers? Did I hear that right? I'm actually not sure if I heard that right. Was it $800 on lightsabers? It was $800. How many lightsabers was it? Was it 50 lightsabers? Three lightsabers. $800 on 3. Were they real? Like, they better be real lightsabers, like an actual laser that can cut things in half and deflect, other lasers that are being shot at you. I can't really go in much more detail about how lightsabers work, but if they're real lightsabers, then I could.
Why does Matt Walsh care about how other people spend their money? Like he does he worry about how other people complain about how he spends his money? No. But why do you care anyways? It's like it's their money. Isn't it like the right wing uh idea to like not care about how people spend their money because they worked for it?
See maybe spending that kind of money on it, but I suspect that they're not, and that the laser is actually made of plastic, and so you're spending $800 on that. I mean, like even if you're a millionaire, I think spending that kind of money on a plastic toy is an exorbitant and gratuitous expense.
Whatever, because millionaires would spend more money on something worse than that. Look at all the like shitty art that is bought by millionaires. Like what? there was a painting of a blue stripe on a white background or a white stripe on a blue background that sold for millions of dollars. So come on.
I can't understand this. Like we all, some of us work for a living, and you don't get a lot of time off, and it's precious time when you have off, especially if you have a family and you want to spend time with your family.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're spending time with their family and they're making memories. And yeah, it may cost a pretty penny for these memories, but they're gonna, be happy about that. And if you're upset with people that want to go to Disney World, why? Because that makes no sense.
And so let's say you have a week off, and you decide that you want to spend that week down in the heat and in the humidity, standing in lines among crowds of tourists. These are all things that I like spend my life trying to avoid. And you have a week off, and you're gonna pay money for the privilege of standing in lines. And
Yeah, you're gonna have if you want to go to an amusement park, you're gonna have to spend money. And if you want to get on rides, you're going to have to occasionally stand in lines. That's what happens at theme parks, no matter where you go. No matter, and also no matter like where you go for a vacation, you're going to be spending money. That's just the gist of it.
being around huge crowds in the heat and the humidity, and spending was it $300? $300 on, at best, like Applebee's tier food. Like this is Applebee's food at the best.
And what's honestly funny, if Disney had never gone quote unquote woke, Matt Walsh would be promoting Disney and how awesome their food is and how reasonable their prices are. If Disney decided to uh, back anti-LGBTQ laws and the such, and it's really funny because you can tell people like Matt Walsh, they really only care about like the political ideology of the business and not like something like this where the cost of admission and stuff is pretty high for some people.
And you're spending $300 on it at dinner. Biden's plans to help struggling business owners in the wake of COVID.
Okay, so had to skip one of his lame sponsor ads, and here we go back to listening to Matt Walsh be annoyed by people using their freedoms.
Um, Everything about that seems horrific to me, but people choose to endorse it. And
Wow, that's horrific, but seeing kids being shot up by right-wing mass shooters is not horrific. Wow, your priorities are pretty wild, where people using their freedoms to enjoy life is bad, but right-wingers shooting up kids is, pretty a-okay.
not only this was what makes okay. If you're a parent and you have kids, and you decide that you want to go through all of this for the sake of your kids, I think it's misguided. I think it's a mistake. I think you don't need to do this. You can give your child a wonderful time. You can make memories with your child and spend a third of the money and have way more fun.
I'm curious as to how much money he spends on his vacation with his kids, because he's not just going into like the middle of BFE and camping out on the cheap. He is living it up in various fancy motels and stuff and having a good time.
But at least it's the thought that counts. And so if you decide I want to go down to Disney World for the sake of my kids and spend $50,000 on cheap plastic toys and crappy food and waiting in line for 3 hours so that I can ride 2 rides for the whole week that we're there, if you decide
But why do you care if somebody does spend $50,000 on a vacation? Like, does that affect you in any way whatsoever?
want to do that for your child, I mean, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice, and I misguided, but I can respect that. But there are adults who do this without kids for themselves.
Okay, so, well, 5 minutes in, and he finally gets to his hatred of childless adults having a good time in life. Wow.
I mean, imagine that for a second. You're an adult. You have some time off of work. You don't have any kids. You obviously have the fact that you're in Disney World means you have a lot of expendable income. And you could go anywhere in the world, right? It's like if you have no kids and you're an adult and you have expendable income, the world's your oyster. You could go anywhere on vacation.
Yeah, and people who go to Disney World have used their freedom to go to Disney World. Why does that upset you so much? Again, it's really curious as to why he is so mad about people going to Disney World. Besides the fact that, he has some kind of fight against Disney World for being quote unquote woke. Other than that, he's mad about people using their freedoms to do stuff.
And you decide to go to Disney World. You know what you could do? I mean, my wife and I, we can't do this right now. You could get on a plane and you could fly in the summertime to Alaska, where it's beautiful and it gets to 70 degrees, at the height of the summer, and it's sunny almost all day in the summer in Alaska, and there's just wildlife, and it's one of the most beautiful places on Earth.
Funny enough, if people were actually going to Alaska, he would be upset because it's childless leftists going to Alaska and making Alaska look bad, blah, blah, blah. Because Matt Walsh always has to make up some reason to be mad about something so he can keep triggering his audience and generating those clicks and revenue.
That you can go to, and you can bask in that natural beauty and have quiet and fresh air and everything. And you say, no, I don't want that. I want to go and sweat my off in huge crowds of people.
No matter where you go on vacation, whatever tourist area, city, town, amusement park, or whatever you're going to go to, there's going to be a lot of people there, and sometimes it's going to be warm in those places. Like in Florida, where it's warm like almost year round. Yeah, it's always going to be warm, and it's an amusement park. So yeah, there's always going to be a lot of people there. Just like any public tourist attraction, there's a lot of people, and sometimes it's warm. Matt Walsh is a dumbass.
I don't understand it. It is the last thing I'll say. And I think at least we can agree on this part. Maybe up to now you don't agree, but at least we can say that adults who enjoy Disney World are mentally ill. There's obviously some sort of mental illness going on here.
Wow, adults who enjoy things are mentally ill. That's pretty wild to say, because you could say this about anybody whatsoever. I know he's talking about people that like Disney World, but what about people who go to Dolly World? Are they mentally ill for going to Dolly World, or Six Flags, or King's Rock, or to the racetrack, or to a football game, or a soccer game, a hockey game? Are they mentally ill because they enjoy things, or they have hobbies? It's like, how does this make any sense whatsoever? But this is just Matt Walsh trying to get his audience to associate Disney World, because they're quote unquote woke, with mental illness, and the idea that people with mental illness should not be a part of society.
Here, I don't know if it's in the DSM or not, but I think more research needs to be done on that. That'll do it for us today.
Wow. This is Matt Walsh hating people for enjoying things and calling people mentally ill for having hobbies and being happy about stuff. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.